Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's been a while. I didn't make any video in this channel because I wasn't filming at all, and for the simple reason that I was back home in my country. My country, when I mean by home, I talk about my original country where I'm from. I'm from Gabon. It's a small country in Africa. It's a beautiful country. Okay, so I was there for 3 years, which was good because it allowed me to reconnect with my roots, to who I am, remember where I'm from, and it reminds me, and it really inspired me a lot to be back home because I have so much to share with you now on this channel because it was a good thing to be back home. Okay, now I'm here sitting and about to tell you so many stories, those that I remember when I was there, and I hope you will like it in this channel. I hope you know, to share something that you like and maybe entertain. I don't know. Who knows? Okay. So, it was a good home. It was a good trip back home. So Gabon is a small country in Africa. It's a beautiful country. It is in the central part, it's crossed by the equator. Equator that makes it like weather like in some part of South America. And we are our neighbors, country neighbors are Cameroon on the north, have Guinea Equatorial, the only Spanish speaking African country in the world. Yeah. Then the only Spanish African country. Yeah. You have down there on the south Congo Brazzaville. Yeah. This is exactly how my country is situated. And the official language that is on the paper is French because we are French colonized. Yeah. But we have our own languages as well. I have my own language and I'll talk about it in my blog. It's a long story. So today I just want to share with you some in other videos things that I remember, things that I remember in Gabon, in Libreville, my hometown, where I grew up, and stories like stories. Okay? So I see you in the next video. So I don't have any setup for now. I just decided to make the video today, and for some reason, I just feel inspired because I was, lazy to make videos. I mean, I didn't even have time, and yeah, it's a lot of work. Editing, filming, it's a lot of work. So today I want to share with you something that I remember very much. You know, um, when I was young, the best thing to have older siblings is that your siblings, your other siblings, when they have something, they pass that on you. They pass on these things on you, like books, all these things. And I will say that it's important to read. If you don't read, then I don't know what to say. I have to admit that these past few years, I have been reading a lot, and you can feel like, I mean, I can personally feel like I don't, when I miss something like that, not reading a lot, I can feel it a lot in me. Because reading helps you also writing. But the thing is, reading for me, in my case, I can write better in French, but I don't really write a lot in good in English. I'm still trying to improve my English skills, when it comes to writing, even speaking, you know what I mean? So So when I was in America, I really remember. I mean, my when I was too much say. So in America, in my early years, sorry, it's kind of cool. My early years in college, I will say that because university college. So it was in it's kind of cool. I'm sorry. Um, in college, we had I start when you go to America, when you come to America, I will say that simply you go to English school about knowing how to navigate in this educational system for international students. And I think going to English school actually for me it was a waste of time because at the end of the day you still go to take English classes in university. So I went to university and I started my English classes like I don't know how they call it. I mean, it was English class with now American student as well. So we have a teacher. I mean, we have a professor. She was an English professor, and for some reason I don't know why I felt like this woman has the way to grade our papers. Okay, when I say our, we were two international students who are French. Okay, French speaker, French. And she was, I don't know if because really I don't want to say anything that I cannot assume having proof of. Should I, was she racist? I don't know. But she seemed like in the way she was doing, the way she was uh, um, doing some stuff. I don't like to make those kind of um, criticism when it comes to racial stuff. I'm very careful on that. But in her sense, it was kind of it was kind of strange, you know. And whenever we have a paper, the only grade she could give to us, the two international students, okay, and then the other because we were the only one in the classroom who were international and who were French speakers. She was only grade B. That's all. You could do everything, it was only B. And it was getting very frustrating. First, I thought maybe because you don't write, I thought maybe I don't write very much. But when you go and you go to tutor and they correct your paper sometimes and she still managed to put a B, that's where I got issue with her. And I read my classmate papers because I need to see what was wrong with my paper, the way I was writing. And I didn't see anything special on the way they were writing, but they got A's. Then I asked my friend, my classmate who was a French speaker as well. I asked him, "Can I read your paper? I just need to see how you are because you keep having a B like me, like the other students have A's, and I don't understand. Maybe because they're American, they have A." So he gave me his paper, and I was reading. It had star. You know, when someone read a lot, you can see that person has star when the person writes. You can see there is something about the way that person writes. And I can tell you he was writing very well. Because usually people who are speaking another language, they are very careful on some grammatical. You know, there is a well-known author I like. His name is Julian Green. Julian Green, I thought he was French speaker. I thought he was a French author. No, I found out recently that he wasn't French. He was actually American, and um, he was recorded. I say registered, inscribed. How do you say that? In the French Academy. It means that his French was so good that he was among the best French speaker and writers in the French Academy Art. You know, it was American. It just tells you that language is not the limit. It's just how you learn it and how you improve it. Anyway, that's not the point here. So my friend, he had a good writing. Like even me, I was like, wow, I like reading job. But she always put him B. So one day, we had a text, and that text was very important. Why? Because as she was reading, the text that we are supposed to write about, it was like an exam for us to go do home and then bring the paper back to her, like essays. As she was reading, I told my friend, the author that she's reading, I'm sure, 90% sure that this author is Guy de Maupassant. And he told me why. I say because when you keep reading, when you are used to some books and some author, you can know the style. You can know how, the kind of books the author read. And I was reading a lot in high school. I'm telling you, I was reading a lot in high school. And it helped me a lot to shape the way I analyze things, the way I understand, the way you even write. So I was 100% sure. I told him that I whispered that to him. And then he said, okay, let's see. As she finished reading, she said Guy de Maupassant. And I was like, this paper, we're gonna do well. Because the context and the story and the cultural aspect of this text, we were familiar with it. Okay. So if she was saying, because usually say, oh, you don't know the American culture and blah blah, that was the always reason she was giving to us. I mean, to me, because my friend, he just gave up. He told me, you know what, I don't care about anymore. She can put a B. I don't care. I have better class to, that I really care about. Mathematics, physics, and whatever. Her English class, she can do whatever she wants because at this point, I'm tired. I'm exhausted to try to improve myself and to prove her that I can do better. But she still grade us B. Then what happened is, so we went home and we wrote about the story. The story was quite interesting because I know the story a little bit, and that was pretty much interesting. And I even went to read it in French again to make sure that I understood the context at that moment. When I wrote the book, when I wrote my paper, I brought it to her, and again she put a B. And this time I say, enough is enough. I went to her office nicely, politely, and I asked her, what is it about my paper this time around? What is it that it is B? Because this is the story and I perfectly understand. Okay, and I understand the style that the author usually, the kind of topics and the kind of thing the author like to discuss in his books. Guy de Maupassant has a style, and so the book was clearly, the story of a social status people, the middle class a lady of the middle class who want to be around people of the higher class, social class, and she was living in a kind of delusion, and even putting pressure on her husband in the story. Anyway, that's not the point here. So I went to her, asked her the question, and she told me, yeah, and I was listening to her. It wasn't enough. I mean, it didn't make any sense to me still. So the day after, I went to correct the paper. But this time, what I did? I went to the chief of department of English. She's also a professor. She has like a PhD in English, and she had a PhD in English. And she was a professor. She was a chief department of English. I went to see her. I gave her the paper, if she could correct me the paper. And, something I don't like usually is in the literature, in everything about literature or whatever. People correct usually paper according to how they feel. And me, I have this problem with that. How you feel about my paper is not necessarily what it is. And the difference between science is like I'm not saying that I'm good in science, okay, but something that I observe, notice, if I can say like that, is like in science, you know that this is the answer for sure. Okay, you can go to method A, B, I don't know, but you have the exact answer and you know how you're going to be graded for. In literature or whatever classes, like, I don't know, even maybe in philosophy, if sometimes the professor doesn't really feel like it is what you are supposed to say, this is my understanding, huh? It doesn't have to be exact for you, the same thing. But I feel like they want to put you in a box like, okay, this is the way you're supposed to think. And I don't like it at all. I think someone has the way to think. What you can correct is like the grammar, the orthograph, the vocabulary, maybe the mistake I make in the paper, but don't even shape the way I think. It is, to me, it is wrong. But then anyway, she corrected the paper the way she wanted, and my paper was full of red circle, lead and blah blah. It was just discouraging for me. But I did exactly what she asked me to do. I rewrote it and I wrote it again and I put it on the side. I want to see another professor in English who corrected it because I want to see if it comes to the same thing at the end of the day. And then she corrected me my other paper, my same paper, because I printed like 3 times for different, for the two professor and the last, that the one she asked me to do. And yes, she corrected differently again. And I was like, so who is right now? What is the right way to write now? I mean, there are some things that, yeah, we agree on, but there are things that they were changing completely, you know. But anyway, I took the paper, I chose the one of the chief of the English department, the head of the English department. I took her paper and I went to see my professor and I gave it to her. She had to correct it, right? And a few days later, I took the paper, it was a B again. Then I told her, excuse me, man, the paper was actually correct by Miss, let's call her Miss, Miss Mary, okay, was correct by Miss Mary. I saw instantly that she was like, oh, you mean the chief, the head of the department of English? I said, yeah. And she cracked the paper and she thought that was the way I was supposed to write. So I don't understand anymore what is the right way to write it now. Oh, okay, let's see. I will review the paper, okay? I will see how to correct it. I said, okay. No, she told me. The day after, I think a few days after she gave me the paper, she put an A. Just like that, the A from, So I told my friend, look, I mean, he told me, you just give up. I said, no, I don't give up. Sometimes me, I don't like injustice. No, I don't like to be treated unfairly. I think it's good that people sometimes understand that you have to stop this kind of situation. It doesn't make any sense. And what was very sad is I was interested to take American literature class for the next semester. And when I found out that she was the professor for that class, I dropped the class. I said, you know what? I'm not going to take her. If she is there, I can forget about the American literature. I was interested to know about that, but because of her, I said no. So I took a philosophy class again, because you learn philosophy in high school. In my country, we study philosophy already. So I was okay with taking another class of philosophy in America. I was like, okay, I will take it because I don't want to meet this woman again. I'm done. So yeah, that was an interesting experience that I never forgot. And yeah,